Hi guys, I'm Amanda Sanchez with Unknown MMA. I am with Tito Ortiz. You are fighting Alberto El Patron this weekend, December 7th for Combate. How are you feeling?
Doing great, Amanda. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about you've been fighting for like 22 years. What keeps you motivated to keep fighting at your age?
You know, what keeps me motivated, I think, is knowing that I could do so much more, knowing that I'm willing to do so much more, and having my health, being injury free, and being able to get in the gym and train, 3 times a day, 6 days a week. I just busted my butt. I want to make the best of this life right now. As when I do get older, I want to look back and knowing that I gave it my all, and I've been giving it my all. And against Alberto Del Rio, I'm glad he called me on. I'm glad he said he wanted to fight me because it became a test to my will and my testament of my career. And I'm very thankful, in general, of the support that I get from my family, my friends, and my fans to keep me going. I love the sport. I love it so much, and I want to make the best of the time now.
Yeah, right. And so what are you looking forward to most fighting with Alberto?
I would say, gosh, I've gone through the fight about, a couple hundred times through my head already, to the walkout, to the face off, to, getting my hand raised. God, visualization is a huge part of my camps and my fight career, about visualizing what's going to happen, getting punched and what would it feel like? How am I going to react to it? When I punch him, when I take him down, if he takes me down, how am I going to react? I put myself in this situation so it's normalcy when it does happen. But I think the biggest thing is how the fans are going to respond to me when I walk out in Hidalgo, Texas. Being a sold out arena, it's going to be amazing. I'm excited and see how the fans kind of, get an opportunity to watch me live in Texas, and all the pay-per-view fans that will be able to watch my walkout. It's going to be a different walkout than any of my walkouts I've ever walked out to. It's going to be fun. I don't know. I kind of get nervous a little bit, but at the same time, people go, God, you've been doing it for 22 years. Why would you get nervous? Because I'm human. And you could always make mistakes. And I just want to make sure that I do the right things at the right time and just perform and fight my butt off. And I've been doing this for such a long time, but it still feels new. It feels like my first fight. And I'm excited because Alberto has really tested me. He tested me, not the fact that he is, he's a good opponent. He's maybe, as some fans say, he's not a worthy opponent, but he's tested me to make sure that I trained hard. I put 19 weeks into this camp. I killed myself. I've done everything I needed to do. There's not one rock unturned behind me that I could look back and go, God, I should have did this. I should have did that. No, I'm ready. I'm dangerous. I'm healthy. My weight is where it needs to be. I want to perform, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. I just want to give the fans what I've always been giving every one of my fights, and that's an exciting Tito Ortiz fight.
Right, and so this is the catchweight bout. So how are you feeling about the extra weight? You think it's going to be an advantage or disadvantage?
It's an advantage for me. I'm very happy. I'm a happy person right now. Usually I'm miserable, cutting down a little bit. I'm perfect right now at 225, so cutting 20 pounds is really easy for me. Actually, it'll be 15 pounds, so it's really easy compared to normally. I cut anywhere from 25 to 20 pounds for the weight, so I'm actually able to enjoy food. Small portions, small rations of food, but still, I don't have to really start cutting hard until Wednesday night when I get to Hidalgo. I'll start cutting completely. Right now that I'm in New York doing my PR tour, I'm able just to eat normal, not eat a lot, but eat normal, and still train, but at the same time, I think the catchweight helps me. I made 205 for the UFC back in, 2001. And it was because I needed that extra weight. It used to be 199, but they made it 205 because of me. But now that I've gotten a little bit older, I put in a little more muscle. For this fight, I have been able to put a little more muscle on, walking around 230, 225. But now, I've kind of cut down and walking around about 224, 225. But those little, just water weight, and making that weight will be great because I'll be strong, fast, and Alberto don't know what he got himself into, but people see on pay-per-view or in person at the Pain Arena.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a really cool area that y'all are going to be fighting in, because you're with Combate, and it is a more Latin-based audience, it's going to be right on the border, or right here in Texas, and so you're probably going to have Mexican and American fans going.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, like I say, get an opportunity for all of them to come watch me live and fight in front of them. I'm going to put on a show, and it's going to be at the expense of Alberto Del Rio. He said he's going to beat me. He said he's going to clown me, and I have a big secret for him, and he's going to realize when I punch him in his face how big that secret truly is.
Yeah. So just going back to Combate, how do you feel about what's different about this organization versus other organizations you've worked with?
You know, I think what's different about this organization is just the way they treat the fighters. They treat them with respect and values, and they really understand that, you know, us as being professional athletes, putting us forward and not really worrying about the brand itself and worrying about fighters of making brands of them. And I think of them hiring me as ambassador, as helping that with other fighters in the future. After this fight's over, me coming back and working with fighters, helping them brands and making brands of themselves, making them the next Tito Ortiz's. I think that's important. A lot of other companies don't want to do that because they want to keep their brands to themselves. And this should be truly about the fighters. And that's when the business will start making more money, is when the fans fall in love with the fighters. And we're going to make that happen in Combate. And not only just for all the Latino fighters, but fighters around the world to come to a brand of Combate Americas that care about the fighters and making brands of the fighters. And that's what I've always wanted to do. And, you know, Campbell McLaren is on the same page as me. I'm very thankful for that. And the whole crew at Combate America, they work really, really hard. And it's nice to be respected. And it's kind of a small business, but it's like a family business. And I remember when UFC used to be like that, and it being a corporation is changed completely. And I think Combate should stick always where they are, no matter how big they get, because one day they will be as big as UFC.
Right. And it's interesting that you mentioned it feels like a family. They had a Combate fight a couple weeks ago here in San Antonio, and I worked there, and it did feel like a family, a very welcoming environment, and it did feel like the people who worked for Combate really cared about the fighters. So yeah, I can really see that, and it's great that you're an ambassador for them. I think that'll be really good for the promotion as well.
Yeah, you know, like I say, and at the end of the day, it's truly about us fighters. We're the one that entertain the fans. The fans are the one who buy the pay-per-view or watch it on Univision, or, you know, now Access TV. So we got an opportunity to really inspire fighters to want to continue to work hard and try to make brands of themselves, and to give the best fights possible for all the fans that are Combate America fans.
Right. And so talking about fighters building their own brands, we're kind of seeing people like that, like Henry Cejudo with his cringe thing, and then like Colby Covington with his little thing. How do you think, what kind of advice do you have for those kind of fighters that are trying to find their niche, trying to figure out where they fit in and differentiating themselves amongst a big company?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is to be real, to be themselves. That's really important. You know, interviews is a huge thing that fighters need to do. They need to get their word out to what they believe in and what makes them tick. Fans need to know what the fighters make them tick, what makes them tick. You know, with me, hard work and dedication, you know, sacrifice and the rewards I get out of it, you know, having integrity of my name. You know, I have my name and my word for the rest of my life. There's only two things I'll ever have forever. And I want to keep those things solid. And I think fighters will find their niche just as long as they just work hard. You got to work hard. But always got to do the interviews. You got to let people know who you are. You got to let people understand where you're coming from and why you're working and why you're doing what you're doing, why you have to love what you do. And me being a professional fighter, a businessman, and a father, my love is just to be an American and try to represent you know, us as well as we possibly can.
Right. I think that's good advice, is keeping true to yourself, because eventually the shtick is gonna fade and you're gonna have to find yourself again. I think that's a good plan, sticking with who you are.
Yeah, I've had to do it a few times. You know, all of a sudden when a company gives you up and you got to go fend for yourself, so you got to find a way to, you know, reinvent yourself. You know, I just remember as a kid growing up watching people like Madonna or like Dennis Rodman, and they always found a way to reinvent themselves. And I've been able to do that through my career a few times, because, you know, I was at the low end of the stick or I was at the super high end of the stick, but I've always found a way to keep myself relevant, either by fighting my butt off and training, or, you know, doing some movie stuff, or just being real. I think just being real is the true thing at the end of the day.
So how do you think that this deal with ofAXS TV is going to impact Combate's U.S. market?
I think the deal that they signed with ofAXS for Combate is going to be huge, just because they'll be able to be seen on a not so far as a bigger stage, but just a United States stage that the United States fans can really catch on to. Because, I mean, most of the knockouts happen in Combate America. And I mean, I think they're 85% of the fights end up by knockout. So fans want to see fights that end by knockout. They don't want to see decisions. But as the roster gets a little bigger, more and more fighters come over, I think there'll be bigger and better competition. So just fans will be able to see a company grow from grassroots to a force. So it's just a matter of time as it gets bigger. And with ofAXS being along with us, we're very thankful for them to be a part of the Combate Americas family.
Right. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about your fight against Alberto. So his last professional MMA fight was in 2010. So have you been watching film on him? Is there anything that you're looking out for with him going into this fight?
Him being very awkward, him not really sure of what he's in for. I'm not really sure what I'm in for. This is a fight. I'm going to fight for my life. I'm going to push the tempo. I'm going to see if he can handle the pressure from Tito Ortiz. I'm going to bring the fight to him like he's never had a fight brought to him. I know he's fought in tough competitors. Pro Cop was one of the ones that he got the bad end of a kick. And does that come from me? Possibly. Do I take him down? Possibly. Do I punch him? Possibly. I think I could play the fight wherever I wanted to go. I've watched his fights. I watch how he moves. I watch the positions he has, the body lock positions, the takedowns, submissions, and so forth. But I just want to make the fight exciting. I'm going to try to finish it in the first round. I don't want to go past the first round. I just want to make an example of him. I put in the work. I sacrificed so much time away from my family, so much time away from my kids. So much I've lost my summer. I lost my Halloween. I lost all of my fall. I lost a lot of my fishing time. But I sacrificed all this time for this fight, and that's how much it means to me. It means my life. This is my name. This is my legacy. This is everything that I fought for. And when I get my hand raised, I know it was all worth the time that I put into it. 19 weeks and getting my hand raised, that WWE heavyweight championship belt that he's going to give me, that I'm going to give to my boys. It's going to be all worth it. And I'm showing excitement for the fans, showing a show to the fans. And that's what's important to me. And that's what I've always been doing.
Yeah. So you have a multi-fight contract with Combate, correct?
That is very correct. Yes.
Who are you looking to next?
I haven't thought past 10 p.m. on Saturday, December 7th. I haven't thought past that at all. Calvin McLaren keeps telling me that he's going to have an opponent for me, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know anything about it. All I care about right now is December 7th, live on pay-per-view from the Payne Arena in Hidalgo, Texas, against Alberto Del Rio. First round, ding, ding, round starts, and me come out and me smash this guy. That's as far as I've gotten. I mean, I haven't even gotten to my after-fight party yet. I haven't gotten that far. I've only got to my hand being raised. That's about as far as I've gotten, and I'm just excited. I'm nervous. At the same time, I'm focused, and I'm hungry. And not like literally hungry, but hungry as in competitive wise. I want to get my hand raised. And I want to put on a show. I just want to make it exciting for the fans to watch, where they go, Tito, you didn't let us down again. And I don't think I've ever let a fan down.
Right. So you mentioned being a little bit nervous, having those nerves. Have you always felt that before a fight? Or is it just like coming back out of retirement and everything that you're kind of feeling the pressure a little bit?
Every fight I get nervous. That's normal. That's common. That's nature. It's normal nature. If guys lie and try to say that they don't get nervous, it's they're lying.
Right.
You got to get nervous. We're humans. Come on. It's human nature to be nervous because I know I'm prepared. That would be different if it was a nervous that I was nervous of being in fear, that I wasn't sure, and I was doubting myself, because that just shows I didn't work hard. I worked hard. I have no doubt. I have a happiness in me. And I'm thankful, my son Jacob, last fight when I fought Chuck Liddell, I had that nervousness and I had a little fear of, I didn't want to lose again. I lost to him twice before. And he's all, Dad, I looked online and I was reading something and I get that same nervousness. And they told me to get that same nervousness and turn it into happiness. And it's exactly the same feeling. It's just how you perceive it in your mind. And I was like, wow, my 16-year-old just give me advice. I just imagine him being born, how happy I was, me winning the world title, how happy I was, buying my house on the water, how happy I was, and having that excitement. And I was like, wow, that is exactly the same feeling of being afraid, and but it's a different idea in my mind. And then that's when I knew I was going to win the fight. And with this fight, there's no difference. I have that nervousness, but it's a happy nervousness because I prepared for it. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to go to war. I keep saying I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. It's gonna be over the first round. Well, what if it doesn't? He makes it the second, third round. He makes it a challenging fight. I still got to think that side of it too, and I do. And I think that's what makes me so nervous, because I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for 3 rounds of hell. But is he ready to go through some hardship during this fight, where you got to suck it up and you got to take the damage? Because I'm gonna give a lot of damage. That's 100% for fact.
Right. So let's see. What legacy do you hope to leave when you finally do retire from this?
What legacy do I leave? I think a legacy, and I was just talking about this right now, and I could talk about it being the legacy of the integrity that I have through the sport, what I've worked for the sport, what I've done for the sport. But I think the legacy that I'll leave back is my children. What a mirror of myself is my children, and my kids being very respectful, carrying themselves with honor and respect and dignity, and integrity. And what I've done through my career, I've done the same thing. I've never stepped anybody to get ahead. I've always reached down to help people until they try to pull me down, and then I let go. But treat people the way I want to be treated, with respect and dignity. I think it's really important. And I think I look back on my legacy, and it's my children. My children is what makes me happy. Seeing them happy is what makes me happy. Seeing them go through hard times and hard work and being successful from those things. And even now, they're just in elementary school, and they show me A's and B's in school, and I'm proud of it. And it makes me happy when other parents come up to me and going, those kids are very respectful. Those kids, they carry themselves very well mannered. And I'm like, they're learning. I'm teaching them, and they're learning. And I love it because they have respect for their name. They have respect for our name of being Ortiz, and I'm very thankful for that. So that is my legacy, is my children.
Yeah, that's a good legacy to leave behind.
Yeah, for sure.
So why should fans buy this pay-per-view?
Why should fans buy this pay-per-view? Have I ever let my fans down ever in any of my fights? You guys want to see something exciting? You want to have a good time with your friends, enjoy some beers, eat some carne asada on a barbecue, and just watch a great fight and watch some great knockouts. Combate America gives you 85% knockouts in each one of the fights. There'll be 7 fights on this card, but last and not least, watch me beat down Alberto Del Rio and take away his heavyweight WWE World Championship belt and give it to my kids. Can't let my kids down. I'm not going to let my kids down. I'm not going to let my fans down. So you guys got to tune into this pay-per-view. It's only $30. It's not that much. Get a bunch of friends over. You guys pitch in a couple bucks a piece. Make it happen. Get some beers. Enjoy some coldies. Sodas for the kids. Enjoy a good weekend. Saturday, December 7th, live on pay-per-view, as I smash Alberto Del Rio. He bit off way more than he can chew, so it's time for me to put on a show for each one of my fans, as I always do.
Okay, well, thank you, Tito. I'm looking forward to the fight. I think it's going to be a great one, especially because it's here in Texas.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Thank you for taking your time to do this interview with me, and good luck this weekend.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you very much. Of course, anybody find me on my social media. Twitter is Tito Ortiz. Instagram is Tito Ortiz 1999. You can go to my bio, click the link, is my YouTube. It's called Tito Ortiz Uncaged. We're on episode 13. 14 and 15 will be coming up this week, right before the fight and right after the fight. So tune into it, check it out, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate each and every one of my fans. I appreciate you for having me on your show. December 7th, live on pay-per-view. Take on Alberto Del Rio. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Shocked if this fight went the distance.
Unknown MMA. Everything you don't know about MMA.